The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by the College Football Experience. Get ready for the college football season by checking out all 131 college football team previews. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I am in Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast corner of England. Today is Thursday, August the 25th, and we are here to handicap a full slate of MLB action for Friday, August the 26th. Joining me first of all is Mr. Noah Bennett. Noah, how you doing?
Doing pretty well, Malcolm. Yesterday, two concerts in the last 4 days, and then today we're recording this late because I didn't get home in time. I actually dropped my sister off at college today. So time is flying. Summer is basically gone for the old kids. The young kids probably have another 2 weeks. Dude, I'm ready. Postseason is right around the corner. Let's go.
Yeah, it's sneaking up, isn't it? So you've been a good big brother today, Noah. You've been a little brother. No, a big brother.
Big brother.
You've been a good big brother. What a good man. And also joining us is the other youngster of the group. It's Mr. Flow Rider himself, Dylan Rock. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, boys? Good to be with you. Yeah, down here in Florida for next 5-6 days, enjoying the sunshine. I'm telling you, it's hot down here. I'm used to more like 80, 85, but 96 every day. Oh my God. Yeah.
Get used to it if you're going there or Austin,
know.
like you said. Dude, come on, man.
I gotta get used to it.
I think Flow Rider was my most contemporary reference that I had to hand. Did I nail that, Noah?
Yeah, honestly, you kept the little concert theme going there.
Beautiful. You see, I'm as modern as tomorrow. You people don't understand. So we've already got some action in progress. We've got some day games. Yesterday, me and Moonaf cracked on with this early, and we'd had some winners already. It's nice when there's day games and you've had some winners under your belt. There's a little bit more enthusiasm, I think, when we hit the pod, and we've already cashed a few bits. There's a little bit more joie de vivre about everybody. Yesterday, our Matt Manning bets had cashed. Dylan was en route. He was flying to Florida while bets were cashing. Today, the Tampa Bay Rays have already nailed my lock already, although for some reason Noah took the LA Angels.
Sandoval's been going well lately.
To be honest, I logged on. I looked at the box score. I was a bit annoyed because I saw they were 5-1 down, and I've got him in the D-Gens Fantasy League, and 4 of them were unearned runs, so I kind of got the best of both worlds. So yeah, his actual stat line was okay. He ended up with like a 1.5 ERA, even though they got absolutely spanked. So that wasn't a problem at all. So
Noah,
yeah, going along.
Excuse me, real quick, Malcolm. Did you hammer his K prop, Noah?
Sandoval today?
Yeah, it was at 5.5.
No, I was more attracted to the outs prop, but I still didn't play that one either. Okay. My one question, Malcolm, for you, what word did you say and what does it mean? Was that genre?
Well, I'm going to ask Noah, Dylan here, because when I said it, Dylan raised his eyebrows in a very kind of way. What I said was joie de vivre. It's French, meaning joie, joy, of vivre, life. So there's more joy of life amongst us. When I get to the ad read for Babbel later on, the old language app, we'll slip that in again. Yeah, I was speaking continental and exotic, man. 2 words that I think everyone associates with me when they think of me are continental and exotic. We said at the top of the show we weren't going to waffle on for ages, and it's 5 minutes in and we haven't even mentioned baseball yet. So right,
I said postseason in the first minute.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, okay. Yeah, it's way past my bedtime as well. We've got a full slate tomorrow, 15 games. There's 3 or 4 of them off the board. We've got some TBD pictures, but there's at least double figure games that we can fully break down. And like I say, I feel everyone's in a good bit of form. There's prop bets are hitting. We've got out. We got first fives. There's a little bit of momentum behind the boys at the minute. So let's crack on with no day baseball tomorrow. 6:40 Eastern first pitch is the LA Dodgers at the Miami Marlins. Tyler Anderson, the lefty, is going to be the pitcher for the Dodgers. I've got Braxton Garrett going for the Marlins. Don't know if you have anything else for me at this point on that one. But that is TBD. That's strictly Braxton Garrett is somebody I've picked up on the sites I use. So we've got no lines on this one as yet. We'll throw this across to Dylan first, but did you have Braxton Garrett? Do you have any lines or?
So I had Garrett in the beginning, and now I'm seeing Trevor Rogers about.
Oh, okay, right.
Start. So no
Come
real
off
lines.
the IL there, if that's true.
Yeah, I think he is. So I have no real opinion. I'll probably pick the Dodgers. It's not a fun or attractive play, but you can't trust the Miami Marlins right now. So lean Dodgers heavy, or just don't play it.
I mean, if this is Garrett or Rogers, it's not a sort of game you want to handicap anyway. We had a lot of these last night. It was Chalk City as our post. We had our first -400 favourite of the season yesterday.
That was
on the pod with Jacob deGrom going. So yeah, nothing for me on Dodgers Marlins. If Trevor Rogers is back, he needs to be a lot better than he was before he went on the IL, because I expected fairly decent things of him and he wasn't capable of them. So no Dodgers at Marlins, anything?
You know, this is a huge travel spot for the Dodgers. I know you guys hate me saying travel spots, and we're already one game in, and I'm doing it. But they're going from a home series against the Brewers across the country to Miami against the Marlins. You know, for the heck of it, I know Rodgers has not been in great form, even when he was healthy like a couple of weeks ago. But I am not going to be playing the Dodgers here.
I don't mind the travel spots. It's the revenge spots I don't like. That's what I draw the line at, the revenge spots, which you're all obsessed with. But you know, I like your travel spot information. Oh, boys, behave yourselves.
Moonaf they did have an off day today, so
Moonaf's turned up in the chat, so everyone on their best behaviour, straighten your ties, everything like that. Teachers here. Next game up is 7:05 Eastern first pitch. The Cincinnati Reds and the Washington Nationals. Mike Minor, left-handed pitcher, will go for Cincinnati, and Cade Cavalli will go for Washington. We have lines of relatively close. Cincinnati -103, Washington -117. Total is set at 9. Not a very inspiring matchup, but someone's going to win it. We do like throwing our rookie pitchers across to you, Noah. So Cade Cavalli, what can he do against the Cincinnati Reds? What do you know about him?
Yeah, man. First, I just want to say this. This is crazy. Washington's actually favored to win this baseball game. Come on, guys. Give it up for him. Give it up to him. That's an accomplishment, I think. But, I mean, I think that's partly because on the mound for Cincinnati, it's Mike Minor. One of the worst pitchers this season. He's 2-10, 6.44 ERA, 59 strikeouts, 29 walks, and 72.2 innings pitched. He has had an ERA. He has not had an ERA under 5 in his last 5 starts. So he's just been a train wreck every which way lately. And then also partly because Cade Cavalli is starting here for the Nats. First round draft selection in 2020 by Washington. He went 22nd overall from the University of Oklahoma. This kid's got a lot of talent, good velocity out of his right arm. During 2020 in AAA, he is 6-4 with a 3.71 ERA, a 9.6 K per 9, 3.6 walk per 9, 126 WHIP. There's a lot of hype behind this kid, and I think the books know he's legit enough to make this Washington team a favorite in this game too. So that's where I'm going to be for this game. I don't have a ton of confidence because, yet again, it is the Nationals and they're favored. Not many times am I willing to lay that team minus money, but I'm going to pick the Nats here.
I mean, who would Washington have to put on the mound for Cincinnati and Mike Minor to be made a favourite? Do you know what I mean? I mean, you could wheel anybody out, like absolutely anybody. So yeah, well, I've quite enjoyed Washington. They've been relatively profitable for me over the last couple of weeks. Actually, I've got a couple of run lines where they've been the underdogs taking a run and a half with them, and they've scored a few more runs. and you just can't back Mike Minor. So if Cavalli does anything near a reasonable job, I think Washington are a relatively good price here. I actually had them written down at minus 120 earlier on. Slight movement, minus 117. Be interesting to see what lines Dylan manufactured for this one, with Cade Cavalli being a bit of an unknown.
Yeah, I actually gave the Nationals the edge and made them a minus 120 favorite. But Malcolm, the Nationals screwed you last time with an over. But let's get them back with this one. Give me the over 8.5. It's at 9 right now. I still like it. I made my line 10.2. So I'm going to fade both pitchers here. Mike Minor, just not a guy I want to back on the road. And the Nationals already spanked him in his first start. And the rookie Cavalli, he's making his first start of his career. So, you know, guys, I like to fade guys making their debut. So I also want to add all 4 games between these two clubs have gone over the number as well. So this game just screams over to me. So 8.5, 9, whatever you could get, I'm going over.
Yeah, I think you were alluding to the fact that I have single-handedly extended Anibal Sanchez's career by continually taking him to get smashed, at which point he listens to the podcast, he takes exception, and he comes out dealing every 5th day now. So you're welcome, Annabelle, no problem. 7:05 Eastern first pitch is the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Philadelphia Phillies, where Bryce Wilson will go for Pittsburgh and Zach Wheeler's on the hill for the Phillies. The lines are got to be further up the page, I reckon. There they are. Pittsburgh plus 262. Philadelphia are a very prohibitive minus 334. Total here is set at 8.5. And Bryce Wilson is 2-7 on the season, has a 5.74 ERA, has pitched 78 1/3 with 52 strikeouts. Zach Wheeler 11-7, a 3.07 ERA, 138 innings, 148 punches. Wilson has been slightly better recently, but I mean, that's better than the 5.74 ERA. It's not good. It's better than terrible. So he has got a 4.40 ERA in that last 5. It's still not good enough, effectively. Zach Wheeler's got a couple of bad starts in his last 2, both against the New York Mets, actually. He gave up 10 earned runs and 11 1/3 in those 2 games. Did face Pittsburgh in July, gave up only 2 runs on just 3 hits over 7 innings. I mentioned on last night's pod that Philly have a really good record against the bad teams. That's kind of kept their season afloat. This is not very exotic or imaginative pick, but it's going to be Philly on the run line for me. I had this down at minus 135, which was just about acceptable. I'm seeing a minus 150 now, which kind of makes me wince a little bit. So we'll see where the numbers go in the morning. But I couldn't get anything else on this one. Dylan, what did you make of it?
Yeah, same play. I got it at minus 135 as well. I see minus 140s out there. So do shop around. Not an interesting play, but I think Noah said it perfectly a few episodes ago. Bryce Wilson, he's just an automatic fade at this point, and so are the Pirates. Zach Wheeler, he's been great at home this season. I think I'll have a bounce back start after the Mets were able to get to him last week. So Phillies, they're great against bad teams. Give me them on the run line, minus 135.
Noah, team right here?
Yeah, team right on the Phillies here. And I will say Wilson's one of my least favorite pitchers on this Pirates team. And Zach Wheeler, he has 5 career starts against Pittsburgh, 3-0 with a 2.30 ERA, 34 strikeouts. So he has just historically done pretty well against Pittsburgh, against the in-state rival here.
Oh, I'm trying to think of worst pitcher on the Pirates staff. That's not an enviable job, Noah. Next is a 7:07 Eastern first pitch. The LA Angels at the Toronto Blue Jays. Left-handed pitcher Reed Detmers goes for the LA Angels, and newly acquired Mitch White will go for the Toronto Blue Jays. Lines on this one. LA Angels plus 150. Toronto minus 177. Total here is set at 8.5. Dylan, Reed Detmers, we're kind of fans of him here on the pod. I know Noah's a big fan of him. Do you think he's got a chance tomorrow?
Yeah, I do, actually. I only made the Blue Jays a minus 160 favorite. So if we could get up 10 more cents, I would take a shot with the Angels here. But I'm going to attack an under 8.5 here. I don't trust the Angels in their ability to score runs. They've only scored 3 runs or more in the one time in the last 7 games. So the Blue Jays, they've owned the Angels this season. And Reed Demers, he has been dealing since the early July. He's only allowed more than 2 runs one time since the beginning of July, and it came in his last start. And the game, all of the games have stayed under this number. I think with Demers and how he's been limiting batters and the Angels struggling to score runs, I think this game screams under. So under 8.5 is going to be the play for me here.
Noah, I saw you nodding along there. You in agreement?
Yeah, great handicap from Dylan. I'm right there with him. And just more on my guy Detmers, that one start that he did get blown up, it was by the Detroit Tigers. And what do? They can really only just hit left-handed spinners. That's what they love to hit. A little bit of a slider or a curveball from a southpaw. And this team, they put up 10 hits on Detmers here, 4 runs in 4.1 innings. So that is his only bad start since the beginning of July. So I think there could be some value on the Angels, but the better play is the under.
Well, yeah, if it was any other team, I say I'm not a big fan of Mitch White, and I would be looking for a nice underdog here. If it was any other MLB team except the LA Angels, I'd take Oakland in this spot. I'd take anybody. But I can't take the Angels. I had my little rant about them last night. Took Tampa Bay on the run line today as my dog, plus 140, already cashed. I think Lane tailed that one as well in the chat, so well done you. So yeah, I can't take a side here. I'm not prepared to. And I came down on the under as well. Yeah, I really like Detmers. The Angels can't hit. So yeah, who's going to score any runs? Answer no one, and we'll take the under. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Tampa Bay Rays against the Boston Red Sox. TBD pitcher for Tampa Bay. So I've got no lines for this one. Michael Wacker will go for the Boston Red Sox. As I said, no lines. Noah, did you fetch anything out on this one?
I got no lines here, but like you mentioned, it's Waka for Boston. Tampa, they make a little bit of a voyage up the coast from Tampa Bay to the Boston Harbor. And Boston, they're 9-28.
Even I knew that was bad, Noah. And I don't know my American accent, but even I clocked that was low quality.
I tried my best Boston Kappa.
Boston Kappa would throttle you if he heard that.
Oh my god! They're 9-28. This Red Sox team is against AL East opponents. They've also lost their last 4 or 5 against in-division rivals. Waka, he's 8-1, 2.28 ERA, 63 strikeouts, 24 walks, and 83 innings pitched this year. However, in Waka's last 2 starts versus Baltimore and New York Yankees, that is, he has not surrendered a single run in 13.2 innings. So he's going very well right now, but this Boston offense is not. Waka does have 1 start against Tampa this year. He went 5 innings, only gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, had 3 strikeouts, but 2 walks. Really, I don't know if this is enough of a handicap to make a pick here. So we really just have to wait for a Tampa Bay pitcher here.
Yeah, I've got absolutely nothing on this at all, Dylan.
No, nothing for me as well. I do see Yarborough in some spots, so we'll see.
He's like their go-to. Like, we have no clue what the Rays are going to do. Let's just do
put Ryan Yarborough in.
It really is.
Yeah, but nothing. I probably would lean Tampa depending on what they open up as. They've owned the Red Sox this year, and like Noah said, Boston's been playing a bit of bad ball, so maybe lean Rays depending on the price.
Fair enough. All the lines we're giving out here are drawn from WinBet, which is the perfect place to get your baseball bets on at the minute. They have reduced juice in MLB games. So get across to WinBet. You can use the Bet 100 to get a $100 free bet over there as well. Casino open with a 24 hours a day with a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 as well. And they released their first quarterback with 5 touchdown prop bets. Dylan, can you remember what the answer was on the first touchdown? I questioned Munaf on this. What's the answer on the first QB with 5 touchdowns?
Derek Carr, you said.
It's the right answer, yeah. Well done, Dylan. That's Dylan and Munaf have passed the test. I'll test you tomorrow, Noah, with something.
That's the incorrect one. The correct one's Tom Brady. He just got back from the Masked Singer, and he's ready to throw down.
Tom Brady. We haven't got time. We're not going to waffle.
Fake news.
Stop waffling. Loads to choose from. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. So they know that we sent you sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Odds Trader, great tool. For all us D-gens, you can compare odds from all the different books, get the best value for your money, different sign-up codes and promos as well. So you use the right book. And then once you get inside, you've got things like player stats, key game stats, injury reports, predicted weather, and the all-important bet tracker as well. Oddstrader.com/Blue Wire is the place. Odds Trader is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. And it is NFL pool season as well. You need to get to Run Your Pool. The home of competition, every type of pool from pick'ems and survivors and fantasy pools, and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network have our pool going at Run Your Pool. $500 cash and $250 gift certificate. So sign up for that at play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. That's play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the Colorado Rockies at the New York Mets. Chad Kuhl will go for Colorado and Chris Bassett will go for the New York Mets. And that, if you detected a note of surprise in my voice, that's the first time I've seen Chad Kuhl's name against the Colorado Rockies all day. I'd handicapped Kyle Freeland up until about 5 seconds ago. Luckily, I am a MLB almanac, so I can tell you that Chad Kuhl this season is 6-7. He has a 5.16 ERA. He's pitched 103 innings with 76 strikeouts. Chris Bassett is 11-7, 3.26 ERA with 141 innings pitched and 138 strikeouts. Kuhl's struggling and getting worse. Let's have a look. His last start, he gave up 9 earned runs at the Padres. Gave up 5 before that against the Dodgers, then 3, 3, and 4. So, I mean, a decent start for him is 3 earned runs in 4 innings. Generally speaking, 6-0-7 on the road. So this is just horrible, absolutely horrible. Just realised I didn't give the lines out here. I mean, we could be touching -400 again for the Mets. Colorado +285. Yeah, Mets -345. Total set at 8. Bassett's been dealing as well, 4-0 with a 169 in his last 5. He's got a 255 home ERA. He's just ticking boxes all over the place. 3 of his last 4 starts were scoreless. This just looks a little bit one-sided. The DeGrom game, which is going on Thursday, looks one-sided. This looks exactly the same. The New York Mets run line's a really good bet, -145. We've talked about unit and a half bets. That looks like finding money in the street to me. So I'm happy to give out the Mets as a run line. Again, it's not very imaginative, but that looks like a cracking price,
Yeah, for sure. Big fan of how Bassett's really been going throughout the second half. And honestly, he has had a great year for most of this 2022. Honestly, to me lately, when I've been watching Bassett pitch, I kind of see a Corbin Burns without the illegal substance. He's got the pitch mix that Corbin Burns has, the sinker, the cutter, the four seam, a little bit of a curveball that he likes to mix in there. I mean, his slider's wicked as well. Bassett he's much better than a number 4 starter on a rotation. This Mets squad is set up to make a long run in the postseason. I love the run line here with the Mets.
We've just got some breaking news in the chat box, but I'll bring you that one. Dylan's giving us our handicap on this one.
Yeah, I had to address the chat real quick because
go for it.
Yeah, Moonoff is disrespecting my Jets and just talking about Zach Wilson and all the picks he's about to throw. But come week 2 when he gets back, it's gonna be watch out. But yeah, for this play, I do agree with the run line, but it's gonna be another underplay for me, under 8. I only made my line 7.2. The Rockies have the worst record on the road in the MLB. They're 3-7 in their last 10. But I'm mainly going under because of how Chris Bass has been in the month of August. He's only allowed 2 runs in his 4 starts. In his last 6 home games that Bassett has started, they have all gone under the total. So I think this he continues to roll. I think the Rockies continue to struggle away from Coors. So I like the Mets on the run line, and I also take the under.
Yeah, so in the chat box, is this Zach Wheeler news genuine, or is this?
Yeah,
I mean that's coming from Moonoff. So
yeah, I just saw it on Twitter. It's real.
Okay, fair enough. So
honestly, does that change my opinion? Fading Bryce Wilson? Not really. I think we get a better price.
Lane.
Yeah, so what we've just discovered is that Zach Wheeler's gone on the 15-day IL, having just handicapped him 5 minutes ago. So the 2 games I've handicapped so far, I've had an audible Kyle Freeland's disappeared, and now Zach Wheeler's disappeared on me. So I am the kiss of death so far for these pitchers. So yeah, we don't know who'll be stepping up for Philly. Maybe they'll call someone up or go bullpen day or something. 8:05 Eastern first pitch is Noah's Detroit Tigers at the Texas Rangers. Tyler Alexander will go for the Tigers, left-handed pitcher. And Glenn Otto is on the hill for Texas. The lines are Detroit plus 140, Texas minus 166. Total here is set at 8. Tyler Alexander is 3-7 on the season with a 4.03 ERA. Has pitched 60 1/3 with 30 strikeouts. Glenn Otto is 5-8, 4.66 on the year, 94 2/3, 71 strikeouts. Tyler Alexander's been really consistent. Doesn't mean he's been good, but he's been steady away. A dead 4 ERA in his last 5 starts. He's given up 3, 2, 2, and 2. He's had 2 strikeouts already in his last 3 starts. So you pretty much know what you're going to get from him. He has been ever so slightly worse on the road, but I think that's more circumstantial. I think that's generally when he was pitching worse. Glenn Otto has been all right in his last 3 starts. He's only given up 3 earned runs in 16 2/3 frames in that period. He has been a lot worse at home, though. Otto has gone okay against the poorer teams. This is a tricky one. Texas are okay at home, but they're slightly too short. I wouldn't be back in Texas here at minus 166. I took the over here. I'd be interested to see what Dylan's number is. I've got a feel. I've wrote in brackets push. I'm going to bet the over, and this is going to push at 8. Is what's going to happen here. We're going to get 3 out of Alexander. We're going to get 3 out of Otto, and then they're not going to be able to get it over the line, and I'll get my money back. What line did you have on this, Dylan?
Yeah, I'm going under. I made my line 7.7. It's the gift that keeps on giving. You just give me the under. Tigers unders have been a money machine all year. 43, 74, and 8 toward the under this year. They've gone under this number in 5 straight games. The Rangers, for the most part of the season, aren't an under team, but in their last 10 games, 3, 6, and 1 toward the under. Glenn Otto, he's been really good at home the past 2 games, and both of those games finished 2-1, low-scoring games. So I think we see another low-scoring game here in Texas. Give me the under 8.
Yeah, I see your point about Detroit. I thought the bats woke up last night, but they didn't really. They woke up for 1 inning, is what they did. Yeah. They didn't hit a load of runs over the course of a game. They woke up for about 15 minutes and then went back to sleep again, which is what I often do in an afternoon. Noah, what chance do you give your Tigers tomorrow?
Honestly, I'd say above 50%. I don't think they should be this big of a dog. I'm seeing plus 140 right now. I think that's a little bit too valuable on this Tigers team. And Alexander, you look at his resume. Now, I'm not like the highest on Alexander. Personally, I think he's better as a long reliever. That's where he was in the middle of the season. But you look at his last few starts, Angels, sure. I mean, it's not a very good lineup, but they have lots of talent. Then you got the White Sox, Guardians, Twins, Blue Jays, Twins again, Guardians again. That is somewhat of a gauntlet. Those are like better than average teams all in a row, no cookie cutter. And he's gone all right, like you mentioned, Malcolm. 3, 2 earned runs every game, just a handful of strikeouts. This is his first kind of below average lineup that he's faced in over a month. I like his chances. So I think the Tigers do have a fighting chance.
I must admit, I was trying to find a way to get the Tigers involved in this handicap. I hadn't ruled them out, and Yeah, that's what I ended up leaning. I wasn't brave enough. I wasn't brave as you, and that's why I ended up leaning towards the over in this one. But yeah, I haven't ruled the Tigers out at all. No other. 8:10 Eastern first pitch is the Baltimore Orioles at the Houston Astros. Kyle Bradish goes for Baltimore, and Houston are officially TBD. I've got Lance McCullers Jr. Going possibly. No lines, unfortunately, for this one in the absence of an official Houston pitcher. Dylan, have you got McCullers, and what do you make of this if you did?
Yeah, no, I didn't have Lance McCullers. I didn't see him,
Oh.
but you got to imagine the Astros going to be open up as a big favorite here, at least 2-1 maybe. I know Orioles are good, but they don't play that good on the road. On the road, they're only 28-35. They're more of a home team, so the Astros is just a different breed. So if Lance McCullers Jr. does go, I would go with Houston here, maybe probably on the run line.
Noah?
I'd be looking to see what that +1.5 price is on the Orioles. When they do lose games, they lose them pretty close. This team has been grinding their asses off over the last month and a half. So not really gutsy enough to fade the Orioles right now, honestly. I have a lot, and it's killed me a lot. So with anybody other than McCullers, I think I'd take it in a heartbeat. With McCullers on the mound, I'd probably look into it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I haven't got any players on this. Obviously, we've got no lines and we've got no McCullers. But I'm interested in watching Bradish. He's someone who I think there's better days ahead for. He's one of these pitchers, and off the top of my head now, I can't think of any more, but I had a little list earlier on of rookies who came up earlier in the season, got hit, and then they go away for a little bit and they come up a second time, and you can get some good run out of them in the second half of the season, whether or not it's just the innings under the belt that they get in AAA. Maybe Nick Lodolo might be another example of one. Detmers is a absolutely great example of one, yeah.
Singer,
and there's definitely 3 or 4 more kicking around. So I think Bradish, he had a rough start to his major league career, but it's gone okay recently. I mean, it's 3 earned runs in each of his last 3 starts, and he's only been going 5 2/3, 5 1/3, 4 2. So I mean, it's steady. It's absolutely steady. It's consistent. It's steady. So the run line might be a possibility with Baltimore, but yeah, nothing else. I'm just looking forward to watching Bradish and see how he goes. 8:10 Eastern first pitch, the San Diego Padres at the Kansas City Royals. San Diego is now a TBD pitcher. I had a pitcher earlier. I got Joe Musgrove going for San Diego, and left-handed pitcher Chris Bubich goes for the Kansas City Royals. I was thinking lines as well, so I reckon Musgrove must be confirmed. San Diego are -177, KC +149. Total errors set at 8. Noah, Musgrove against the feisty Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, I have Musgrove here too. Everywhere I look, besides that official MLB page, has Musgrove going, and I think that was good enough for the books that put out lines. Both these teams had Thursday off. Musgrove is 8-6, 2.91 ERA, 136 strikeouts, 28 walks, and 139 innings pitched this year. He has a 3.08 road ERA, 2.43 ERA in his last 3 games. Kansas City's Chris Bubich. He started off the year very, very rough. He's 2-8, a 5.29 ERA, 80 strikeouts, 48 walks, and 95.1 innings pitched. But in his last 3 home games, he's a 2.39 ERA against pretty good competition, too. The Royals are sort of my spirit animals when I dog them up, but today I'm taking a totally different angle. I'm betting the under in this game, guys.
Interesting. What's the total? So the total on that is 8. Dylan's the man with the numbers. What does the Rockford line say about the total?
Yeah, I made my point. My total 8.2. I see 8.5s out there, so I do like the underplay. I know they've dropped out of our top 10 power rankings, but you got to think this Padres team turns it around. Especially, I do have Musgrove going on this game, so give me the Padres -1.5. Can you believe the Royals have a better overall team batting average than the Padres with this lineup? So
they're feisty, man.
They are, but that's insane. That's insane.
I know.
So I don't think you could get behind Bubich right now. The last few games he's been off, and I just trust the bats of the Padres to get it going. If they don't, they're going to be on my shit list like the Rays. So It's their last chance. Padres -1.5.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I think the Padres have already made my shit list. They're on there with the LA Angels. So I've taken the Kansas City Royals here.
Wow.
Every time when I wake up in the morning and I scroll through all the scores and the little MLB highlights, and you scroll through and you see the same things every night. Bobby Witt, two RBI double. MJ Melendez, 2 RBI single. And it's just this. Yeah, it's the same players, and they're just chipping away, and they're slowly putting together a respectable season, or a respectable run at least. And I just don't know what the Padres are up to. Like it's ugly. It's really ugly. So with that in mind, Kansas City are okay at home as well. The service was San Diego slightly over 500 on the road, but that doesn't justify a price of -177. So at the value, I mean, I actually took Kansas City a couple of times last week, plus 1.5. So that's a possible play at -170, -117. But why not go the whole hog?
Honestly, the Royals have all these young kids in this lineup. They're not really even trying to win. They just have Salvador Perez. They traded away Merrifield. They traded away Carlos Santana, and they're still above the Detroit Tigers in the AL Central standings.
That's sad.
Let's take them again tomorrow. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. San Francisco Giants and the Minnesota Twins. Alex Wood, left-handed pitcher for San Fran, and Joe Ryan will go for Minnesota. We have lines of no lines. Why have we got no lines on this? I've had these two pictures out all day. Either of you boys got any lines on this one?
No, I don't see anything.
What game is this one again?
Minnesota, and yeah,
I've seen pictures the whole day. Alex Wood and Joe Ryan, right?
Okay, then I'll give you a handicap, and Dylan makes his own lines. So I'll tell you what, Dylan. Yeah. What lines did you give us?
Yeah, so for this game, I have the Twins -145, -1.5, plus 140. Giants plus 145, plus 1.5 is -140. Totals at 8.2. So
8.2. So we'd be taking an 8. I say I got the under here. Alex Wood 8-10, 4.54 ERA, 123 innings, 122 strikeouts. Joe Ryan 9-6, 3.86 ERA, 107 1/3, and 105 strikeouts. 2 of Alex Wood's last 4 have been absolutely brutal, and that skewed his stats a little bit because he gave up 7 at Colorado, which you can forgive, and he gave up 6 at the LA Dodgers. If there's 2 places you can forgive a pitcher, one's in Colorado, the other one is going into Dodgers Stadium. So
yeah, it skewed his stats and skewed my fantasy team too.
Mate, your fantasy team's been skewed since the middle of April. I wouldn't worry about that. He's actually Alex Wood had held teams of a similar kind of power to Minnesota throughout the season. So I expect him to go better tomorrow. I'm happy to put a line through those 2 bad starts. Joe Ryan's last 5 ERA is 6.84, but he's got that 10-run start in it against the Padres, which is now the 5th bottom. He needs that start to drop off his list, and then his numbers will look great. So every week it gets 1 lower down, and now it's on the bottom rung. So the next time we handicap Joe Ryan, that'll be consigned to history. He has got a 500 earned run start in there against the LA Dodgers. So if we're putting a line through Alex Woods, we can put a line through Joe Ryan's as well. I like Wood. Ryan's been going okay. I think he's earned me trust. I was going to go on the under, but I didn't know the lines. So Dylan giving us an 8.2. If it's 8.5, I'll take the under. If it's an 8, might be a no bet. So we'll have to see where that line comes out, and I can't give you any more info on that one. Dylan, did you have a lean on this one?
Lean Twins. I think they're dying of a win right now. They've lost 5 in a row. I do like Joe Ryan just a little better than Alex Wood, and I don't trust the Giants on the road. They're not a really good road team. They're only 26-33 on the road. So lean Twins, and I do like the under is the better play at under 8.5.
Yeah, I couldn't back either of these teams at the minute. They're not on my shit list, but they're just not trustworthy. They weren't worthy of me putting any money on them. Noah, what did you get to?
Yeah, these 2 guys, they were king of splits, honestly. So Alex Wood, before that Dodgers start on the road and before the Rockies start on the road, he had a great road ERA, and Joe Ryan has a full point under his regular ERA at home with a 3.99, I believe it was. I gotta double check that. 2.99, not 3.99, 2.99. So again, both these guys pitch better in this environment that they're going to be at. So give me that under.
Okay. 8:10 Eastern, first pitch. The Arizona Diamondbacks at the Chicago White Sox. Another one of your guys here, Noah, Tommy Henry, goes for Arizona. And Johnny Cueto, I believe he was player of the week or player of the month, player of the week. Let's go for you.
Very well.
Yeah, goes for Chicago. The lines are, there they are. Arizona plus 152. Chicago White Sox minus 181. Total here set at 8.5. And Tommy Henry, you said last week, Noah, that he's got good days ahead for him. But I'll tell you what, we'll let Dylan lead us off with this one.
Yeah, so I did take the White Sox earlier in the day when the line dropped. I got it at a minus 145, but that's the furthest I'd go with them. If I'm able to get a plus 160 or better on the Snakes, I think there's value there. But for this show, maybe you want to include the White Sox in your money line parlay. I like our boy Henry. I just think the White Sox are playing a little better baseball right now. They're fighting for the division. And Johnny Cueto, he's been lights out at home. His last few games, he's given up 1 run, 2 runs, 4, and then 0. So now against the D-backs who struggle on the road, I think this could be a good spot for them. So give me the White Sox here.
Yeah, I had the White Sox on the run line just behind Cueto, but I did want to know what Noah was going to tell us about how Tommy Henry's going to go tomorrow, because he absolutely nailed it last week.
Yeah, he nailed it. I was completely
You
wrong.
nailed it.
No.
Oh, were you got it the wrong way around?
Yeah,
No,
I thought he was going to get. I thought he was going to get rocked by the Cardinals.
I didn't really.
Dylan had faith in Henry last week. Honestly, St. Louis, they have the number 1 OPS against left-handed pitching. This White Sox team has number 6 in the MLB OPS against left-handed pitching. Henry in his last start against the best left-handed hitting team, he went 5.1, gave up 6 hits, only 1 earned. That 1 earned was on a solo bomb by I forget who it was. It might have been Goldie, because of course he's hit 2 today for Moonoff. But he had 7 strikeouts against the best team hitting against lefties in the MLB this year. That's almost bad matchup proof, in my opinion. We always say, like, the easy cop out with this White Sox lineup is that they just hit lefties very well. I mean, this guy pitched right through a bad matchup last week. I'm not going to doubt him anymore. And watch me say this, and this is his blow-up start. He's a young kid. He has not had a bad start yet. So I'm going to keep riding him.
Oh, that's fair enough. I'm going to stick with my play, only because I think Cueto and the White Sox in general can hold Arizona maybe to 1 or 2 runs. So Henry could still go okay. But over the course of the game, the White Sox could still get to 4 or 5 maybe. So I'm not going to be distracted from my instinct, which was the Chicago White Sox on the run line. Go on then, hit me what you got.
First 5 under.
First 5 under. I've got to stop pointing at people. I've started pointing at people tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. You're fired. I'm like that bloke. Do you have that program?
What was it? The Apprentice for Trump.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you're fired.
Yeah, Noah, you're fired. I need a big sponge finger. 8:10 Eastern first pitch.
A sponge finger.
Yeah, what are those? You know those
foam finger, right?
Foam fingers.
Yeah,
a sponge finger.
Oh,
a sponge.
Not foam, is it?
It's
foam.
It is foam.
Foam's when you get on the top of your cappuccino. That's foam.
A sponge is what you use to wash a sink.
Yeah, what's it made of? The same thing, you buffoon.
It's made out of
foam. You see, you just walked into my trap there.
I just walked into the explanation of what a foam finger is.
A sponge isn't made of foam. What's a sponge made of?
It's a sponge. I don't know what it's made
of.
Exactly.
And what's the finger made of? The
foam.
Same thing. Foam.
This episode's gone way off.
God, quick before Moonoff.
We only made it 44 minutes instead of an hour and 6, whatever it was last time.
Moonoff will be wagging.
Hilarious.
Moonoff will be wagging his sponge finger at us in the chat if we don't get on with it.
A couple of people in the chat right now, maybe.
If you've just joined, we are talking about baseball. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. the Chicago Cubs in the Milwaukee Brewers. Justin Steele, I've got his name right, 3 weeks running now. Left-handed pitcher will go for the Cubs. Freddie Peralta for the Brewers. And the lines are Chicago Cubs plus 141, Milwaukee minus 169. Totally a set at 7.5. Noah, Cubs at the Brewers.
The Los Angeles Dodgers just ran the Milwaukee Brewers out of the city. They retreat to Milwaukee here, where the Cubs, they just beat Milwaukee in a series last week, and they just split a 4-game series against the red-hot St. Louis Cardinals. The Cubbies, they're in great form right now, whereas the Braves, I think they're in a little bit of Brewers, I think they're in a little bit of a slump here. Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee, he's 4-3, 4.08 ERA, 65 strikeouts, 22 walks, and 57.1 innings pitched. He's a 2.95 ERA in his last 3 starts against the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Rays. His last start was against the Chicago Cubs team. 6 innings pitched, 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. And for Chicago, it's Malcolm's guy. He just wants to keep giving him a new name, whether it's Justin or Jason or Jack or
Luke.
Whatever.
What is his name?
He called him Luke. It's Justin. Justin Steele is your dude.
The most American name.
He is him. He is him. He has a 1.38 ERA in his last 9 starts. Wow. He's 4-7 though. 3.25 ERA, 120 strikeouts, 46 walks, 113.2 innings pitched. If you have the guts, this is a good Cubs money line play, but I don't. Give me the under here, guys.
Wow.
He's talked it up, Dylan, and he's jumped off at the last minute. He's jumped
it. Benedict Arnold there. I learned from the best.
That was awful.
He's jumped ship at the last minute. So you got the Cubs then, Dylan?
Oh, absolutely. I was going to be like 2 for 2. Give me the dog here, Malcolm. I was able to get the Cubs at a plus 150, plus 135. I still like them. Malcolm, I'll give you credit. You were the first one to call out the Brewers for what they really are, in my opinion. Fraudulent.
He was the first one to call Justin Steele Luke Steele, too.
Yeah, and Jason and Bob and Terry and John and Phil. Well, I've obviously got the Cubs as well.
Let's go.
It's a combination of.
You got to change.
Yeah, come on.
Team on.
Come on.
I gave the analysis. Why not?
Drink the Kool-Aid, Noah. Drink the Kool-Aid. Come and join us.
I got you.
Yeah, it's that combination of the Brewers, who I am out on. Not as far out as I was, actually. I think I was a bit harsh on them, but yeah. Now Dylan's the one who's panning them. And my guy, Justin Steele, who's been absolutely brilliant. He's been really good since he came onto our radar, and we started talking about him a lot about a month ago. We're now talking about him for the right reasons, not just the fact we can't remember his name. So yeah, I'll give me the Cubs here. They've had a weird series against the Cards. Johnny Junter was arguing with me on Twitter this afternoon.
That was funny.
Yeah, I think he was right as well. Yeah.
Can I say my analysis though?
Oh, go on then.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's the Cubs are just on fire right now. They've won 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two. The Brewers. This is honestly one of the main reasons I'm not backing them. They're 25th in the league against lefties. Justin Steele, like you guys have said, he's been on fire in his last 7-8 starts, but he's faced the Brewers 4 times. He's only given up 6 runs in 25 innings. They're hitting 194 off of him. I think this is a great spot for him. So, yeah.
D-Rock had done his homework, hadn't he? He wanted to show it off. Fair enough.
Just a little. My bad.
That's all right, mate. Okay. 3 more games left to handicap. I'm going to tell you about Sleeper and their overall under game. Draft season, well and truly underway. We need to catch up on how Dylan's home draft went the other day. But we'll do that offline. So Meeloff doesn't shout at us. I assume Dylan did that on Sleeper, along with the 4 million other users. Great app, but they have added this overall under game to it, which is the first sports contest game built into your fantasy experience. You can take your player, take your prop, and then select your own stake and win from 2 to 20 times that stake by being right. Chat box is really good fun as well. Our listener group you can join at sleeper.com/SGP. And Sleeper will automatically match that first deposit up to $100. Sleeper.com/SGP for a $100 match on your first deposit. Trade coffee connects customers to the freshest and best tasting coffee that you've ever had. Expert tasted coffee, 450 different types on hand, ready to be dispatched to you as whole beans or ground, however you like it. The thing to do here is to take the quiz, which is at drinktrade.com/SGP. New subscribers will get a total of $30 off the first order. Taking that quiz, you'll be matched by a coffee expert with the perfect coffee for you. Trade will give you a money back guarantee as well, or they'll replace that coffee if you don't like it. So the quiz at drinktrade.com/SGP. Trade will find you a coffee that you love. Drinktrade.com/SGP for $30 off. Okay, 3 more games here. 8:15 is possibly the game of the day. The Atlanta Braves at the St. Louis Cardinals, where Spencer Strider goes for the Braves and the lefty Jose Quintana goes for the St. Louis Cardinals. Atlanta are -136. St. Louis are +115. Total is set at 7.5. Strider is 7-4 on the season. He has a 2.95 ERA. He's pitched 100 2/3 with 151 strikeouts. Quintana is 4-5, 3.45 ERA, 122 2/3 with 105 Ks. Strider's been great. Absolute revelation this season. 3-1 this season. 3-1 in his last 5, 2.73 ERA. He had one blip in there against the Mets, but the rest of his recent makeup, he's got 4 1-earned run efforts in that. So I can forgive him that start against the Mets. It was a big divisional clash. Quintana's going along great as well, 2.49 in his last 5. Did a bit of a bump in his last start. He faced Arizona in that game. He gave up 2 earned runs on 7 hits over 2 2/3. So I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Sometimes you just don't have it. It looked like one of those days for Quintana. But he has been good against before that, although it has been against slightly weaker opposition. I don't know. The St. Louis bats have been inconsistent. We just talked about that Cubs series where they scored none, then 13, then 2. And then I think they put up, it was about 7 or something at the last count they did. So St. Louis bats inconsistent, but I think Atlanta can flex their muscles here. I think they're a better team. I like Strider more than Quintana. The price is okay, -136. I don't mind. Atlanta are pushing the Mets hard, and I think they can win this game tomorrow, Dylan.
Yeah, I couldn't come down on a side. I did only make the Braves a -125 favorite, so still some money to be on the Cardinals for me to take them. So I'm going to attack the total. I got a 7, and I took that over. The number's just a little too low for me. I made my line 7.9, so even at a 7.5 here, I still like it over. Both teams, they've been in some high-scoring games this past week. 3 of their last 5 games for both teams have gone over this number. Both teams have been crushing the ball, and Strider does give up a few more runs on the road than at home. As for Quintana, he's been really solid for the Cardinals in his 4 games with them, but he did face the Braves back in June, and he got roughed up a bit, giving up 4 runs on 6 hits. So I think both pitchers can give up a few runs here. The Cardinals are usually an over team at home, so give me the over 7.5, 7, whatever you could get.
So we've got one for Atlanta, one for the over. Noah, what have you got?
All right, so we're going to get out our pens and paper here, and we're going to start checking some boxes. All right, so Strider, Quintana. I'm checking it Strider for starting pitching matchup. I mean, this is an amazing series that we're going to have going this weekend. I feel like you got to do this for every game, but this one especially is just a big example of why I'm doing it. So Strider, check the box for the starting pitcher. Then you got for the offenses, Quintana starting against the Braves. Braves against left-handed pitching, 790 OPS. Then you got Strider starting against the Cardinals against right-handed pitching, 744 OPS. Then you go to their bullpens. Atlanta, 5th-ranked bullpen, 321. St. Louis, they have a 373 ERA. All 4 of those main compartments of a baseball team, you got to check them all off for Atlanta in this specific matchup for this game. So I'm taking Atlanta money line you know what? Spread might even be a good shot too, because Quintana has gotten roughed up by this Braves lineup already once this year. And I like the over as well.
Dylan shakes his head anymore. It's going to drop off. Dylan, what's the matter with you?
I'm just so disappointed that my two co-hosts would root against my Mets and have the lead cut down even further. So I hope
Just
they get
win games.
I hope they get swept.
Oh God.
I hope they get
Me and
swept.
Nora, we're very professional young men here, and we are doing our best for the listeners. We don't care about
Young
your
men.
silly.
We got the oldest and the youngest guy here.
All
How's that?
right, mate. You couldn't let that slide, could you? You couldn't just let it go. No,
No, I
you had to
couldn't.
say so. You couldn't just throw me a bone. Do you know what I mean?
Malcolm, it's
Maybe-
fair.
maybe-
I gotta keep us honest, guys.
You couldn't let me
crushed his
think I was
fantasy
in with the
team.
guys for a minute. That I was one of the
You
boys.
are in with the guys.
I said Flo Rider about 45 minutes ago. I
Yeah,
mean,
you're
what
the
else?
cool dad. You got a son named Bob. He's sick.
I have never been as angry in my life.
I gotta share some chocolate with Bob. That's all I know.
Yeah. You'll have a friend for life,
Any
mate.
fried
Yeah.
chicken tonight?
No
Oh.
fried chicken tonight, no. But yeah, I can hear there's things going on, but I can't smell anything. So I'll give you any updates if any aromas come wafting
Your
through
late
here.
night chef.
9:40. She has brought me, and this is American enough. Do you know what that is? I
A
know this is
Jolly
great for the
Rancher.
listeners. It's a Blue
Hey.
Jolly Rancher. There you go.
Those
Yeah,
are
you've
amazing.
always got a pile of like American junk next to you, Noah, haven't you? On your
Oh,
little
I
desk there,
actually
so-
I like the European candies. I already told you. I like these German.
Oh
candies.
yeah, you got those weird box of Austrian stuff that you had or whatever.
German.
What is going on? Right, come on, clock's ticking. 9:40 Eastern first pitch. The New York Yankees and the Oakland Athletics. And New York are TBD here. I have nothing for them. I don't know if you boys have seen anything. Oh no, I haven't. I've seen Garrett Cole, but only quite recently. Yeah, that's who I saw. And
How is he
for-
TBD? You should know when that guy's on the mound.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't get that, and that was quite recently as well. JP Sears, left-handed pitcher, is going to go for Oakland. We have no lines on this whatsoever. I'll chuck this across to you, Noah, because you could probably tell us a little bit about JP Sears. We've chatted about him a couple of times, and then any leans on this game, although it's hard without the pitcher for the Yankees.
Well, since you put me on the spot here a little bit, I'm going to pull up what Sears has got on me. In the year 2022, he's kind of been all over the place. AAA, a couple of teams got traded from the Yankees to Oakland. And since he's been with Oakland, he's got a 2-0 record. He's got a 1.76 ERA, 15.1 innings pitched, 8 strikeouts, only 4 walks. He has a good enough record, for me to argue that this is a revenge game. We just saw it with Cal Quantrill yesterday. Absolutely dealt against his farm team in the Padres. If that's not a revenge spot, Malcolm, I don't know what is.
I told you.
Shut up, Dylan.
He goes, I told you.
Yeah, look, he's so happy. Look at his little face. Dylan, what have you got on this Yankees Athletics game?
Oh man, I just hope the Yankees lose. Oh man, I don't care if it's Cole or not. I'll take Sears. I'll take Noah's handicap and take Sears. Revenge spot. Cole. If Cole does go, he'll probably be over a $2 favorite, which he shouldn't be at this point. So you're gonna get tremendous odds on the A's. A's are 5-5 in their last 10. Yankees 4-6. They might be playing better ball. At the dump, give me the A's too.
At the dump.
Yeah, the game that's actually a Thursday's game, I took Oakland first 5 because he had that little habit of getting in front of New York and then blowing it right at the death recently. So I think at least one of these games, that's going to happen. So obviously, it remains to be seen what happens in the Thursday game. But yeah, why not give me Oakland in the first 5 here?
I remember the series prior. I remember the series prior to the All-Star game. Oakland actually put up a heck of a fight against them it was like late June or whatever. They were winning one of those games in the 9th inning, and their bullpen blew it. Then they lost another one like 2-1, and then I don't know what the other one was. It might have been like 5-3, but I know the one game they were up by like 3 and they gave up like 6 runs in the 9th. This Oakland team has been all right against the Yankees. Why not? Just entertain it. Throw like a half unit, quarter unit on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Lane's in the chat. We're twinning on this one. We pretty much gave that play out at the same time. Athletics first 5. Final game here. 10:10 Eastern first pitch is another good one. It's the Cleveland Guardians at the Seattle Mariners. It is Shane Bieber going for Cleveland, and Logan Gilbert will go for Seattle. Cleveland are even money, plus 100. Seattle slight favourites at minus 120. Total here is set at 7. Noah, Cleveland at Seattle.
Cleveland, they're 4-1 in the last 5 games, 8-1 in their last 9 away from home. Seattle, they're 8-4 in their last 12, and they've hit the over in 7 of the last 10 games. For Cleveland starting, you mentioned it, Shane Bieber, 8-7 in record, 3.17 ERA, 144 strikeouts, 31 walks, and 145 innings pitched. He has a 1.66 ERA in his last 5 starts, so he's going very, very well. And now for Seattle, Logan Gilbert will take the mound, 10-5 with the ball starting this year, 3.52 ERA, 131 strikeouts, 41 walks, and 143.1 innings pitched at home. He has a 4.09 home ERA. The Guardians, they're rolling right now, and Gilbert has had a little rough patch in his last few games here lately. So I'm willing to take the Cleveland money line here again. I apologize to everybody during that Padres series. I was just going with my gut, thought the Padres were a better team, and they just got ran off the field in multiple games that series. So believing in the Guardians now, although I do have this Mariners team ranked above them too. We'll see if that bites me in the ass.
The Thursday game is in front of our very eyes. Bottom of the 8th, Seattle lead 3-1 with the bases loaded, and Seattle are I mentioned that because it's my lock of the day, but don't like to talk about it. Dylan, Cleveland at Seattle.
Does Cleveland have the bases loaded?
No, Seattle.
Screw.
Unlucky.
I was going to take the Mariners, but the more I dug into the game, the more I really do like the Guardians. Logan Gilbert, he's my man, but he struggled this last month and at home this season in general. Like Noah said, Shane Bieber's been dealing last 3 starts on the road, 21 innings. He's only allowed 3 runs. He's limiting batters. He's not walking them. He's giving the club consistent long innings, going 7 in all of those 3 starts on the road. So I don't like Gilbert's recent form, and the Guardians hit righties pretty well. So I was able to get a plus 105 when the lines open up with the Guardians, but at a pick'em price, I still like it. I made the Guardians a minus 120 favorite. So give me the Guardians.
I'm going to zag where you two boys are zigging here. I've got Seattle. Yeah, do you know what? It's a very similar handicap to last night's game, and I like Seattle in this series. We've got not similar pitchers because Bieber's better actually. So, but we had Mackenzie against Gonzalez, so maybe the disparity between the 2 pitchers is of a similar level. But I just thought Seattle at home were going to have a determination to get over the line here, and they've done pretty well tonight. Cleveland have only put 1 run so far through 8 innings. It looks like Seattle are going to tag on here. So, yeah, I just think it's the same bet again. Bit of a different price. Seattle were plus 103 for the Thursday game. A little bit shorter here, minus 120, but good enough for me. And if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'll stick with Seattle. That, boys and girls, has got us to the end of the 15-game slate. We're going to give our lock and dog picks momentarily. If you ever listen to a baseball podcast and not knowing what the term joie de vivre means, if you have, then Babbel, the language app, might just very well be the place for you, where you can learn a second language, and you'll know what stuff like that means when it comes to you. It's a really fun, easy way to learn, whether you're traveling abroad or connecting with a friend, or you might have met a lady and you need to speak her language, not just the language of love like Noah speaks. Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons that you can use. Loads of fun stuff as well that help you learn. Things like games, videos, podcast stories, and live classes online. And you get a 20-day money-back guarantee. So start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. That's Babbel. Save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/SGP. Babbel.com/SGP for 60% off your subscription. Babbel is language for life. And finally, Elias, The start of the NFL season, we repeatedly keep saying, is around the corner. The Elias Game Plan app comes from the company who are the official statisticians of the US pro sports leagues, including the NFL. That's the Elias Sports Bureau. So the app lets you access team and player stats, head-to-head team comparisons, player news, team records, absolutely everything you need, whether it's to play fantasy or just impress your friends down the pub. The Elias Game Plan app is what you need to download today. New features are coming on all the time as well. It will take your game to the next level. So download the Elias Game Plan app in the App Store or Play Store today. And it is time for our lock and dog picks. I feel like Dylan's been quite he's been quite a confident young man tonight, as Florida Dylan.
Wow.
So we let Florida Dylan lead off.
I feel like I always lead off. So
You see, confident. Now, in the past, he wouldn't have had the confidence to question me. He would have just done it. He's down there in the heat, and he's chirping back. Lead off, Dylan.
All right, I'll lead off. Give me the Cubs as my dog. I'll start with my dog. Give me the Cubs on the money line as my dog. I think Malcolm said it, they're fraudulent, the Brewers. I'm not high on them. I think this is a good spot for Justin Steele. They don't hit lefties really well. And sorry about that. My dogs are going crazy right now.
They're barking for that Cubs pick.
It's the dog.
It's the dog.
So his sound drop. That is brilliant.
Yeah. Oh my God. I apologize. And you know what? For my lock, I'll go with something that didn't hit for you, Malcolm. I'm going to go on the over for the Reds and the Nationals game. It screwed you last time, but I made my total 10.2. I'm going to fade Mike Minor, and I'm going to fade the rookie Cade. So I think both pitchers are susceptible to give up runs. So this game screams over for me. So I'm going to go over 8.5 here.
That's a brave pick back in the Reds and the Nationals to get some runs on the board. Lane's put a reference in the chat that I have no. That must be clearly an American reference. I've got no idea what that means, but I'm sure Nil. See, I knew you two boys would laugh at it. No idea what he means. Noah, give us your lock and dog.
For me, we're going with the lock. It's a little bit of a risky one, but I like it. It's under 8.5 in the Los Angeles Angels Toronto Blue Jays game. We mentioned it. Detmers is going to pin down this Blue Jays offense, and the Angels offense can't hit. So I love that little under. And then for my dog, I have a few. I have 3. One that you guys talked me into in the Cubs, so I'm not going to claim that as my own. Then I have a run line and a dog. A natural dog. And I think I'm going to go with the natural dog because it hit for me 2 days ago. Going back to my Detroit Tigers, plus 140 against the Texas Rangers. Alexander has had a gauntlet that he's had to run through. He at least gets them the money line in the first 5. But, Glenn Otto, it's time for a little bit of regression for that guy. So we're going with the Tigers on the money line.
Okay, you boys have come out with the fun picks tonight. I pride myself on being the on being the fun pick here, mate. I've got two, the exotic ones. I've got 2 really boring run lines here. So I'll take the safe floor and let you boys have the ceiling for the Friday night games. My lock is for the New York Mets on the run line, minus 145. Bassett against Freeland. It's just it's not big or clever, but it just looks like an absolute mismatch. The Mets should have put the Rockies to the sword on Thursday night, and they can do it again tonight. Bassett's just been absolutely great, and Chad Kuhl hasn't. For my dog, it's going to be another run line. It's Dylan tried to talk me out of this earlier on with his handicap. It's going to be the Chicago White Sox against the Arizona Diamondbacks. I do think Tommy Henry can go okay. I respect what you've told me about that, Noah. But even if he does, he could give up enough runs for the White Sox to get this over the line, maybe 4-1, 5-2, something like that. So I'll take the Chicago White Sox on the run line. That is at a price of plus 125. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Noah, more Little League tonight?
Actually, they're playing.
Did you
right
see
now.
Curacao? They
Southwest.
beat Mexico.
They beat Mexico. That's a good win. Hawaii plays the winner of tonight's game.
Just crown Hawaii the champ.
Just ridiculous, dude. Hawaii's hit 19 bombs in this Little League World Series tournament. the other 19 teams, as of yesterday, had only had 13 home runs.
Yeah, they're a
It's
wagon.
outstanding.
It's just crazy, dude. So I mean,
Wagon.
this team is great. Yeah, maybe go play a little bit of golf. That's probably what is in my plans.
Yeah, nice. Florida, what you up to?
Jesus. I'm gonna actually go jump in the pool with the dogs. They need to be tamed right now. So gonna go do that. Hopefully DeGrom shuts them out tonight. Biggest favorite in 4 years.
Dude,
Yeah. I haven't seen a minus 400 or bigger. They're bigger than that. I haven't seen north of minus 400 in my time on this show. So yeah, 4 years, man. That's a great
Hopefully
number.
it doesn't bite us in the ass.
Hey, check out the restaurant in the St. Pete, Tampa Bay area, Engine Number 9. The owner is Phil Esposito, NHL Hall of Famer's nephew. So it's a good
little
one.
Phil Esposito. Huh?
Yeah.
There you go. And I'm going to go to bed because it's midnight. So thanks for joining us. That was loads of fun. I enjoyed that. Thanks everyone who's chirped up in the chat room as well. We always appreciate your company. Good luck with your bets. We'll be back probably tomorrow, I assume, in some form or other. Until then, we will see you down the road. Cheers.